Okay, so I'm hoping you can see, how I have my rounded black table in front of the machine. So this is the other, the curved part of the table. It doesn't look curved, but, And so I have it in front of the machine, and, I have this pulled. There's my hooping under there. But, I have to get my hands underneath to hoop that. So, like I was started to say, I've seen a lot of people will take and they'll fold this, either fan fold it or whatever, and then feed it back into the machine. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll fan fold it. This isn't big, but let's see if I go like that. I mean, that would probably work, right? I mean, my brackets are right there, right? I mean, that's enough. See my brackets? And, there's my hoop there, here. So I pretty much like folded it to the long edge of the hoop. It's right there. So, I have this pin in here that's coming out. I'm just going to take it out. I don't know about these pins, if I should really have them or not. Once you've hooped it, did a couple hoopings, you don't need any of the pins. I thought about taking these out, but these aren't going to bother. It's the ones on the ends that I worry about getting caught up, somehow. But I think we're okay, and this is so small. So then I'm right up to the machine, right? So I'm going to stick my hands underneath, and I'm just going to slide it. And remember, everything is slippery. That's what's nice about this, having everything slippery. So I wonder if I should, I don't know. I have to think, because this is new for me. This is the first time I'm doing this with this type of, quote unquote flat frame hoop like the brothers have, right? So I'm kind of like thinking as I go. If you guys have any tips, let me know. Okay, so here's my bracket here. Okay, so I'm gonna expose them just so I can see what I'm doing. And so now I have it lifted. Here's my hoop. My hoop is resting now on everything, but it's folded, and I don't know if I can get it under there. So I think at this point, with it right here just propped on, it's kind of propped on, or maybe not propped on, maybe just, let me bring this all the way up. I used to have a cushion here so that this wouldn't damage things when I go real close. Let me just go real close. This is what I'll do. See, I'm figuring it out as I go. Okay, so I'm real close to my hoop. I'm going to take this and I'm going to take my fan fold and bring it under the needle into the back. How's that? There we go. There. That's better. Now I can put my hands underneath and my brackets, you know, I can feel, it's so easy now. Oh my gosh, this is so easy. I can feel my brackets going in. I'm only going in halfway. So guys, remember, you want to hear it click in. I just want to make sure this fan fold isn't going to get caught. Okay. So now I can just click it in. Oh my gosh, there it is. And I don't have to shove anything into the corners. Oh my gosh. This is amazing. I'm so excited. Oh, I hope my settings work. I got hair in here and everything. Okay. All right, we're in, and you can kind of see how, let me put this down a little. You can kind of see how it's fan folded, because I thought about that and I thought, do I want to just let it drape in the back all willy-nilly? Do I want to hook it up? Hey guys, I'm interrupting the video because I wanted to show you what I ended up getting. Well, I had already, was this PVC rod, and it's just laying on top right behind my thread stand. It's on my thread stand, but it's behind these spools of thread, and it's actually behind this long silver vertical bar. So it's really nice, and I just have little clips on it, and this will be fed differently. So this holds your excess quilt, you know, with this nice PVC rod, and it'll slide back and forth because it's just up there loosely, right? So you don't have to worry about your, you know, quilt getting stuck somewhere. So I wanted to just show you that. This video I still have to edit, and I also put this table here to you know, let the quilt lay on it on this side. I don't have anything for this side because obviously my fireplace is there, and I don't know. I have to figure something out. Maybe not have this catty corner anymore. But I just wanted to show you the PVC rod. It's so easy. And you notice these little elbows on the end kind of stops it from like flying off. These are shower curtain rings, and these are little clips, those green clips, you know, the bigger ones that are like those red plastic clips. I can't remember what they're called, Wonder Clips or something. But yeah, this is just so easy. Okay, guys, back to the video. Okay, now that it's hooped, I'm going to move the table, because normally if I have a giant quilt and I'm not filming, here's what I do. I take the table, whoops, it's going to bang into the camera, and I move it back, but I only move it back far enough so that I could get, let me see, I could see, so that I could get a hand's width, you know, there. Okay, but I make a nice gully because, you know, the machine is going to move back and forth, you know, the carriage. And when the carriage moves back, it's going to grab the fabric with it, right? And since this is magnetic, I could just put, just to hold this, if I had a heavy hoop, I could, you know, for right now, I could just put the magnet on there, right? My steel plate doesn't go up that high. But that's kind of the edge of it. But if you've got a heavy quilt laying on this table, you have to use a weight. So, and that's what I used to use. I would just put a weight here to hold it, but still allow still allow this divot, and that's probably not enough. Okay, so it's about 4 inches, and it's a nice gully that allows a 4-inch, 4.5 or 4-inch movement forward and back, you know. So, because you know our hoop is 8 inches tall, so half of that, right? So that's how I would do it. And so this would support the front of any heaviness on the quilt. And then back there, I had those clamps, but I see it was different because back then when I was using a regular Janome hoop, I would have to shove everything into the corners. So now I'm dealing with a different type of excess because everything is draped over the top. It's so much nicer, but you know, I have to rethink all of my supports. Here's the thing though, if I'm gonna film this, I have to get rid of this table because you're not going to be able to see anything straight on. I can't get in there or anything. But just know this is my setup, you know, when I'm quilting with a big hoop. So I'm going to get rid of all this and I'll move the camera closer and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, guess what I forgot to do? I forgot to remove the hoop template. I don't need this because I'm already hooped. So I should have removed this right after I was done hooping. So I'm going to just try and do it carefully while I'm here. So I'm going to lift this left edge like I was mentioning before, and I'll use my other hand to hold down the template. I'll worry about the tape in a minute. And then I'll come over to this tape and press down gently. See, that's why I didn't want a lot of tape. Because, you know, oh, this isn't wanting to come off. And then in the back, because I'll press down on that. I know you probably can't see that part. Okay. Would have been a lot easier if I would have done it before I hooped. So let's take this tape off. So now we're just left with the ghost template, right? Or the design template, whatever you want to call it. To me, it should be called the ghost template because, you know, it's got the ghosts on it. Usually a design template that we print from, say, our embroidery software doesn't have ghosts on it, right? So that's why I call it the ghost template. Okay, so we have our design template. Oh, shoot, guess what? I forgot to set my laser, right? Because I know I hit my laser. If I turn it on, oh, it is kind of in the center, but that's my design template center. I don't know if that's where my needle is hitting, right? So I'm not going to pull this quilt out and then try and put my tiny little crosshair hoop in, you know, in the real tiny hoop that I made that crosshair. Oh, it looks like I have to thread my thread. So I'm just going to pull the needle down and see. Let me just do that before I thread it. So basically what you want is you want to make sure that the laser light is right where the needle is. Okay, let me see if I can. I know it's hard because there's glare because of the here, let me. Okay, that might actually be better. My light just went out. Let me turn off this other light. Let me see. You can kind of tell that there's a laser there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my shelf liner and dial my hand wheel 10 minutes counterclockwise to free up my presser foot. And I'm going to see if my needle is where Oh, it is right where the laser is. Maybe I didn't hit it. Okay, so we're good. So my needle and my laser agree, but obviously my crosshair on my design is not in the right place. But guess what? I don't even have my design pulled up, but it doesn't matter. I had another design pulled up that I just pulled up, and they all go to the same center, the center of the hoop. So let me come over here, and so I just brought this design up. It thinks the M2 hoop is in, right? But it doesn't matter. Like I said, it still goes to the hoop center. So, I mean, the center is the center, right? So we're going to go ahead and open up my actual design now. So we're not opening the ghost template or anything. We're opening the actual design, and the design has a crosshair in it, but I'm not going to stitch the crosshair. Okay. It might have a basting box, doesn't? I can't remember. So I'm going to hit open on my USB, and I'm going to go backwards in alphabet. The secret to the Janome MB4 is have tons of folders, and then you can rifle through things. So I'm going to hit this back arrow to go backwards in the alphabet. 2, 3, 4. Quilt in the Hoop 5 folder. And it's Spade, Teardrop, Main. M is main. And I guess it does have the basting box around it. Okay, so I can follow that as well as the crosshair. So needle bars out of position because I messed with the hand wheel. So when I hit OK, you're going to see this take-up lever is going to go up and down because it's going to get into switching position. So I'll hit OK. But the needle didn't go down or anything. So, okay. So there's my design. And we're going to set my needle. So everything's on needle number 1. So the first object is the crosshair in the box, but we're not stitching those. We're just following them. We're going to use this crosshair first to center our design because we know we probably hooped a little crooked. It looks like I hooped slightly crooked. And then once we have our design centered, then we'll follow the vertical leg of the crosshair to check for rotation. So, but first I'm going to set my needle. So I'll use this button here, and then this one here, and then needle number 1, I'll just put a stop on it even though. So object number 1 is going to stitch with needle number 1 even though we're not stitching it. And then we'll go down to the next thread color. So then object number 2, I want to stitch with needle number 1 as well. That's our design. And notice I have a long jump or a long manual stitch here to my design. And there's no ties on that manual stitch, but it'll take a jump then to the first stitch of the actual design. So get a pointer. So I do that so that I have a nice long tail for burying. So it's still going to make a tie on here when it starts the design, but when I'm all done stitching this design, I have a long thread tail to bury. And then when it finishes stitching, oh, my battery's going. I got to plug it in 1 sec. When it finishes stitching right there, it's going to jump, it's going to make a tie off, and it's going to jump down here. See, that's a nice long distance. So that's why I only had to make this one short. So it jumps down here, and then it takes maybe 5 manual stitches. And then it doesn't make a tie off or anything. These machines kind of look like it's making one tie, like one single stitch for a tie, because it has to do that, I guess, to grab the bobbin thread and cut everything. So anyways, and I have my jump stitches turned off on the machine, you know, in the settings. So you have to hit the back button. So I set my needles. I'll go back, and in settings, I'll go to the next page, next page, next page, next page. Everything is unchecked, so you see all my settings. Jump thread trimming is unchecked. If you want to check it, then you hit on while this arrow is on that row. But I don't want any jump thread trimming because I'm going to bury my jump thread tails. Okay, so we're just going to click OK and go back to the design. So my design is up, and now I'm going to move my design to the center. Okay, so this crosshair is what we're, you know, looking at. And remember, your machine, when it opens a design, needle number 1, and I have needle number 1 as my needle, so that's good that I did that. But needle number 1 then will show right at the center of your design. Now I want to line up my laser in the center of that crosshair, so it looks like I'm off slightly, so I have to move the camera a little bit. So anyways, so I'm gonna use these arrows, these 4 arrows on the machine, on the RCS unit here, to move the design to center. So you're going to see me do that, and I know you can't see, but I'm going to go to the right and maybe up a little bit because my dot here is a little low and it's ever so slightly to the left. So, and each click is 0.1 millimeters, so 10 clicks is only 1 millimeter. So I'm going to go up. That was 5. Eight is good, and I'm going to go to the right. It's about centered. I think I went 5. So now you can kind of see I'm right in the center. Okay, I don't know if you could tell. So we're done. Our design is centered according to this template. Remember, this ghost template is our guide. This is what we want to follow. So now we're going to check to see if we hooped crooked, if we need to rotate, right? So to check for rotation, you use this F button, forward or reverse, to follow your crosshair. And when you check for rotation, you only have to check one leg of the crosshair. So it's really nice. You just, you know, pick your leg you want to follow. Well, it's much easier to follow the vertical leg. And remember, my crosshairs, the way I'm doing them now, they always start in the center and then go out. That's because if you're using an aftermarket hoop, or even if you've got the wrong hoop in, you know, say you have a small hoop in but your design is huge. Well, our machine doesn't know that. Our machine doesn't have sensors on the hoop. So you could hit your hoop with your presser foot or your needle, you know. So that's why I start from the center and go out with my crosshair. So they'll start in the center, they'll go down, then stitch up, then they'll jump to the center. And that jump to the center is so helpful for us who have this machine, because we can always verify our center by going back to that jump. You know, taking the F buttons and going back to that jump. You know, you can always verify, oh, did I save my center? Am I in the center? You know, because our Janome MB4 and MB7, they don't have X and Y coordinates of all those jogs that I just did. And you may wonder, oh, did Janome save my jogs? You know, I don't know. I made them. Did Janome save them? Or you might say to yourself, did I check for center? You know, you might have forgotten, right? Or you may say, did I hit the laser light? You know, well, jog to center and you'll know if you hit the laser light. Because when you take that jump to center, that's where your laser should be, right? So there's so many reasons why doing a center out crosshair is so beneficial, especially in an aftermarket hoop where you're afraid you're going to hit something. You know, some machines have X and Y coordinates. Actually, most of the multi-needles do, and you know, the brother combo machines even have them, right? And but the brother combo machines make it really hard for you to jog or to move your carriage to any position you want when you're on any stitch. Like if you're doing an applique and you're like, oh, I want to move it, I want to move the entire design, I'm on stitch 55, you know, well, you can move your carriage and create a new position for your design, whether you're on any stitch with this machine, but not with brother. You have to guesstimate, because you'll be on one screen and then you'll be like, okay, it looks like I'm off by, you know, 2 millimeters up and 3 millimeters to the left. And then you got to remember that, and then you got to back up into a different screen and then jog. You know, their jog buttons are on the screen, and then you have to come back and see if you're in the right place. You have to verify if you did correctly. You got to go back to that stitch number 55. It's really a nightmare. And I love the brother machines, but that part, no. But I love that they have a shift for like those combo machines. They allow you to shift your entire blanket stitch, not just the width of it. You know, you'll talk to people and they'll be like, well, you can use the width. Well, yeah, but that doesn't shift the entire blanket stitch. It just makes it wider or narrower. So I love the brother for that, and I love the fact that they show the X and Y coordinates. But the fact that they make you jump in and out of screens to move your carriage, no matter what stitch you're on, okay, that's big. Because there's a lot of quilt in the hoop designs that don't start in the center here, the horizontal center. You know, end-to-end designs, not a nested block, but end-to-end designs. And if you have one of those designs that say start here at this point, well, you know, if it's an end-to-end, yes, it's going to end way over here, the same on the same horizontal plane, but that's not this point here, the middle. And that middle is the only middle that brother allows you to jog the carriage while you're on that point. Either that middle or this middle or the four corners. So there's, you know, these 4 spots, and then the 4 corners, and then the center. You can also jog. But if you're starting somewhere else, then you just got to guess. So if you have an end-to-end design on a Brother machine that you bought from somewhere where it starts down here or starts up here, you have to take your needle, or you have to go to your first stitch. So that means you have to hit that plus minus stitch button, go to your first stitch, and then drop your needle down slowly and see if you're connecting to the previous last stitch. If you're not, if you're off by, like, you know, like I was saying, if you're off by, say, 3 millimeters down and 4 millimeters to the left, you got to remember that and try to guesstimate that measurement to boot. And then you got to go back a screen and go to your move buttons and move it, you know, up 3 and over to the right or whatever you guesstimated. Then you got to go back to the embroidery screen, go back to your first stitch and check and see if your movement was correct. So, yeah. So if Brother would change that, I would get a Brother in a minute, you know. But they're not changing it, I've seen. So I don't think so. And if they have, please, somebody tell me. Because I haven't seen it even on their really expensive machines. So anyways, boy, I went on a tangent. Sorry, guys. So we checked for center. Now we're going to follow the vertical leg of our crosshair by using our F button. Now you're going to watch this. Okay, you're going to watch the laser, and I don't know if I can get it all in though. F button. Okay. There's the F button. Okay. But I'm still not getting the... Okay. Let's see. I can't get the entire... Okay. But I kind of want it to be in the center. Well, how about this? Just trust me, I'm going to be hitting the F button to follow. So I'm going to just come up here so that I can just zoom down. And that way you can see everything. Okay. So I'm going to hit the F button to follow the crosshair. So when I hit the F one time, okay, took 1 stitch. My stitches are real long. They're 5 millimeters so that we don't have to, of course, I'm going to be right on. Oh, wait, I see it veering. Let's see. I know it's hard for you to see it, though. I wonder if there's a way, because of this plastic, you can't even see it at all. Darn it. Okay, well, nothing I've tried is showing it. This is kind of showing a halo around it, but as I'm following, it is kind of to the left of this vertical leg, just so you know. So my red dot is slightly to the left of this vertical leg. So let me hit F one more time. Okay, let me hit reverse. So now I'm at the very bottom. So I could say, yeah, it's the laser dot is slightly to the left of this vertical leg. And if it's slightly to the left down here, then remember, you think of this needle or laser light, both of them, you think of them as a spinner on a game board. And if that spinner, you know, a spinner is solid, it's a straight line, right? And I know you can't see all of it. But if that spinner is to the left of this vertical leg down here, then when I go to the top, it's going to be to the right of this vertical leg. And to get it to be completely vertical, to get this spinner to be vertical, we would have to rotate it counterclockwise, 1 degree. But I don't know, I'm never off. So, but let's see. So let's go ahead and I'll just put my spinner over there. And I'm going to hit the F button to keep following. And notice I'm not holding this down or locking it down, because you don't ever want to lock this down until you know you're not going to hit your hoop. Whether it's, aftermarket or not. And in this case, we have magnets here. Remember, see this black? That's my magnet. So I'm not worried down here. The design's not going to hit the magnets down here because the presser foot is over here, the bar that we're worried about. And this is far enough away as well, this part of it. So I'm going to hit F and see if my spinner theory is right. So we're looking to see if it is on the right once we get to the top. I have to hold it down. Of course, I'm right on. I mean, you could maybe say it's to the right, but it's really not. But let's pretend it is. So let's pretend it's like this. I know that's exaggerated, but let's pretend that down here at the bottom, it was to the left of the vertical leg, and up there it was to the right. So we're going to rotate our design counterclockwise 1 degree. So to do that, and then we have to check it. We have to check and see if our rotation was correct. So to do that, we go up here and we go to Menu, Edit, Rotate, and we're going to rotate counterclockwise. That's this one right here. See the little arrows? 1 degree. And remember, the way I always explain it is in embroidery, okay, rotation is a positional concept, okay? Right now, our design is rotated at 0 degrees. That means that it's just sitting there like this. And this point can represent 0 degrees, okay? And this point is like 1 degree. I know I exaggerated, okay? This point down here is 90 degrees. Focus, okay? This point over here is 180. Okay, this point here is 270, and this point here is 360. And you say to yourself, well, 360 and 0 are in the same position. And yes, they are. Positionally, 0 and 360 are the same, okay? And that's what embroidery machines use, because they don't want to use negative numbers. If you know, in algebra and trig, they use negative numbers if you rotate this way clockwise or counterclockwise, okay? I won't get into that because I'll confuse you, but they use a negative number, okay? I'll just tell you this much. This way in algebra trig, counterclockwise is positive. So this would be positive 1 degree, positive 90. Okay, positive 90, positive 180, okay? And so on. But if that angle was rotated this way in algebra and trig, they call that -1, -90, okay? Embroidery machines don't use negative numbers. It's too hard, you know, you're going to have negative, positive. It really confuse everybody. So they just use 360, okay? And they don't even rotate in the same way as algebra and trig. And that's what flustered me when I first started learning all this. Because, you know, my degree is in math, right? And I was so frustrated because with embroidery, when you go this way, you go from 360 to 359, 358, okay, 357, 270, okay? Totally different than algebra and trig. And when you go, with embroidery machines, if you go this way clockwise, it's not a negative number, it's 1 degree, you know, 90 degrees, 180, okay? So I said I wasn't going to get into it, and I just can't help myself because it's so frustrating. So anyways, so your design comes in at 0 degrees, okay? And if we want to rotate counterclockwise on our embroidery machines, we go from 360 to 359. That's counterclockwise. If we were going to rotate clockwise, we'd be going from 0 degrees to 1 degree, right? Well, we want to go counterclockwise. So you hit this one time, and this will say 359. If it would focus for me. Let's see. Oh, I'm touching that instead of the screen on the camera, duh. Okay, so I'll hit this once to go counterclockwise 1 degree, and see that said 359, and you can kind of see our design rotated counterclockwise. Well, that also puts the needle counterclockwise on our machines. Now, some machines are completely opposite, but on our Janomes, that's how it works. So now we hit OK, and when I hit OK, the carriage is going to move back, and this is going to freak you out. The carriage move back to what it thinks was the hoop center when we first opened our design. But rest assured that our jog buttons that we did, you know, here, they're saved. And if you're worried, if they're not saved, that's how you can always just do that thing where we follow the crosshair and then let it jump to center. Then you'll know it's saved. So anyways, when I hit OK, this is going to jump to the hoop center, which was kind of like over here. It was off a little, but it's not going to be our exact center. So I'm going to hit OK. Okay, so there it is in that spot where, like, I kind of didn't think it was centered enough. But rest assured, our jogs are saved. And now I'm going to hit the F button, and we're going to follow again and see if our rotation was the right thing to do. Because usually with me, everything is so accurate when I hoop with this technique. Usually I'm only off by 1/2 degree, and our machines don't rotate 1/2 degree. I don't think any of them do, but I could be wrong. So I'm going to follow again. So I'm going to just hold it down. I'm going to hold down the F button. Okay, see how I rotated counterclockwise, and now my crosshair looks off. My laser is way to the right. That's why I knew I wasn't off. So I'm going to go back and rotate it back the other way, but I just wanted you to see that, you know. So I'll hold the F. Let me reverse to get down to the very bottom. Whoops. Yeah, see, it's not right now. I don't know if you can see that, but the dot is to the right. So I only needed a half a degree, probably a quarter degree. Because when we come up here now, oops. Okay, see that? When you hold it down, it jumps like, it, you know, goes like 20 stitches or whatever if you hold it down for a while. But that was my jump to center. I hit the reverse button so you could see that, but I'm going to hit it once and go back up to the top. So see now the dot, I don't know if you could see, but it's to the left. So I shouldn't have rotated. So I'm going to go back and rotate it back because I wasn't off enough. I probably wasn't off at all. So I'm going to go back into menu, come in, menu edit, and see it says 359, and I'm going to hit rotate, and we're going to hit this one now. Now we're going to go clockwise, so this will say 0. It doesn't say 360. Sometimes I wonder, like, why don't they have 0 and 360 right there, you know? And I don't know. Probably confuse people more. But it's going to go back to 0. Okay, so now it's not rotated at all. And so then again, when I hit OK, it's going to go to what it thinks the hoop center. So I'm going to hit OK just so you know. Okay, so I'm good. Center, rotate, I'm good. The other thing I can do is I can continue following this since it's magnetic, so it's almost like an aftermarket hoop. And I can make sure that this side of the bar doesn't hit these magnets. I know it's not going to hit these, but I can make sure that it doesn't hit those magnets up at the top edge because that's mostly what I'm worried about. And that's kind of why I put the box in, because we can follow the box. Because after this crosshair stitches, then it stitches the box. And in this stitch out, the box will start here. So I'll just go and fast forward. So it's going to go through the whole thing again, and then it's going to jump to center. Oh, I held it down too long. Let me reverse. I'm hitting the R. Okay. So then up there, when I hit once, it jumps to center. Okay. And I don't have this pressed down. Okay, so you can kind of see it's in the center. So that's your jump to center that I was talking about, that you can always verify. You know, once the vertical leg is done stitching, it jumps to center. And that's the center that we set when we did our jogs on the, you know, to get to center at the very beginning. So you can always come to this point to verify that your center is in there. So I'm going to keep hitting the F button just to get to the box. Oh, it's going that way, so I gotta wait now. Actually, that laser, did I hit it? I don't think I did. It's not on my, it's way off. Okay, what's going on? Hey guys, I'm interrupting the video because I think I explained this mistake in a previous video in this series. It was my mistake, and I'll just explain it again. The reason why this laser is not following this box is because this ghost template was made incorrectly by me. I had some brainy idea to make my box bigger than, like, if you look on this edge, you see the design. The design is in black. The design ends like on this line. Like the design ends at this point here. Not that it ends, but the boundary of the design is like right where this point is. So this boundary, say on the left side, is about a 1/4 inch in from the red box, right? And I don't know why I did that at first. I thought maybe I needed more room and whatnot, but I had forgotten about when I want to trace around, I want my trace to be exactly, you know, where the boundary of the design is. So this laser light is the same problem. It's about a 1/4 inch away. Whoops. It's about a 1/4 inch away from this red boundary of this red box. You know, this is like if I drew a line. So I fixed that later, and I fixed it in all the files, you know, like that are for sale, you know, for this quilt and the hoop design. And I redid another ghost template. And then I also like manually just drew a black box in on some of my others because I had like 5 ghost templates of this design because my Cricut machine was acting up, and so I kept making templates. So that's the mistake here, just so you know. Okay, back to the video. Here's what happened. My design up here that you see, I made my box exactly the same size as my design, just to make sure I'm not going to hit the hoop. But my ghost template, notice what I did. I made it slightly bigger than my design everywhere. So guys, I think I'm going to remake this and make my box on my ghost template agree with the same box in the design template. You know, in other words, I'm going to have it end where this point ends, you know, where the design ends. There was a reason why I did this on the ghost template at first, and I can't remember why I did it, but I wasn't thinking correctly. So I'm going to have to redo the ghost template, and I'm going to have to recut it. So my laser is correct, just so you know. Ugh, good thing I'm doing this. Okay. I haven't made one in a while, so I'm a little rusty. So I'm going to keep hitting the F button because I want to get to the top of the box. I'm just going to hold down the F button so that it skips a lot. So see, it's going to skip a lot. It's going to go faster. I want to get all the way up to the top. Okay, that's where I want it to be. So now that I'm up at the top, and you know, this is where you could see the laser is right on my black design. Okay, the laser's right there on this black design. I'm going to actually pull the needle bar down using the hand wheel. So I'm going to dial the hand wheel 10 minutes counterclockwise with my shelf liner to free up the needle. And I'm going to make sure that this bar is not going to hit my magnet. And I have plenty of room. It's not going to hit. So I'm good. So I checked, I centered my design, I checked for rotation, I followed my design or my box as it's up here close to the magnets. And, you know, I even verified the side magnets aren't going to hit, but I always knew those weren't going to hit. And we're good. So I can remove this, I can thread my needle, and we can start stitching. So I'm going to try and get this in view. And remember, I have tape here and here. So I'm going to peel this up and hold my finger down. It's kind of not that sticky, but it's that red tape, so it is kind of sticky, right? And then up here. So that's really all you need. And then this will just come right off, okay? So I'll go ahead and I'll thread my needle and I'll be right back. Okay, so the needle is threaded. I don't even need my laser light on anymore. I could turn it off. On the design or on the screen here, I'm still, if I hit this button, you could see I'm still on the crosshair in the box. So I want to go to the next thread color. Needle bar is out of position because remember I pulled that down. So this is going to move when I hit OK. Okay. And now again, I'll go to the next thread color. Okay, and you could see it's like, what's going on? The design starts here. Well, that's my basting line. And that's, but you could see it up here. That's this long line on the bottom right there. And that's going to then jump to the real design. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the laser light. So for this light, it's just right here, and I'm just going to lift up. And here we go, guys. I'm going to actually kind of move the camera catty corner and maybe come down a little because I have to be able to see it. At any rate, even though this is just going to be a basting line, I'm going to still pull up the bobbin thread because there's no ties or anything, and I don't want to have a mess. So I'm just going to pull this thread. I'm going to hit start once, and then it says machine starts to run because I have my settings so that it gives me that warning. And I'm going to hit the start button 2 times real fast. That gives me a needle down, needle up, so that I could pull up my bobbin thread. So I just want you to know that's what I'm going to do. And I don't really have a lot of thread here, so I'm going to pull the tension lever back, and I'm going to pull some thread out, but not by the needle, because remember, my tension is tight. Okay. So now I'll pull the tension. So now I'm going to hit the start button 2 times real fast to get my bobbin thread to come up. And I'm going to kind of give this a little slack so I don't prevent the needle from going down, right? So see, I hit it twice real fast, and that just did a needle down, needle up, and I pull up, and there's my bobbin thread, okay? So now I'm just going to hold them kind of loosely here because I want to allow it to make a tie, and I'm going to hit start again, and I got the warning just so you know, but now I just hit it again once because I wanted to start stitching. So here we go, guys. See, it just starts. There's no ties. Those are easy to take out when we want to bury it. And see how it just jumps? And there it made a tie. So this, oh, it went over that seam. This will be easy to take out. You know, I could have made the basting stitches even longer. It looks really good. Ooh, it doesn't like going over those seams. You know, yeah, it always looks good from the front, right? I didn't even check the bottom to make sure everything's clear, but I'm sure it is. And I decided to use this gold thread. Let's see if I can zoom in a little. I don't want to zoom, I never know, like, how much people want to see, you know, like, I don't know. Because sometimes you want to see what was stitched, you know. So remember, I lowered the bobbin tension again to, what was it, 130? So 13 grams. And I'm at 9 on top. It's as tight as it will go, and it's double wrapped. Yeah, it does not like going over those seams, but it's doing it. I'm not breaking thread. My speed is only at 400. It looks so good on this. Oh my God, it's so pretty. I love this design. I wish it weren't so geometric because, you know, then you have to be perfect with when you line it up. But since I have ghost templates, it's a piece of cake to line things up, you know. Oh my gosh. Oh, it just went over. Ooh, it went right through the center of that one. Wow. Look how pretty. Oh, there it is up by the mat. Oh, look, I left the wooden thing in. I wonder if I could slide it out. It's fine, it's not gonna hit. I don't want to make my design go off registration. So this is it, guys. You're witnessing it with me for the first time. My magnetic hoop hack. I'm so glad I'm using the gold thread. I love this gold thread. Even the Omni, I have the flax. I use that flax for like everything, it seems. Oh my God, this is so gorgeous. I wonder how the back is gonna look. And see, I didn't want to go through that center, but Stitch by Susan says if you don't go through the center, then that sticks up there, right? I didn't know what to do. Okay, there's my tie-off, and there's my jump. And see how it just makes like 5 stitches. And now I have 2 long thread tails that I can bury, you know, 2 of them. So I have the one from the start. And I had to make this one stitch because I couldn't just make 5 stitches and then jump to this, because then, you know, it would be like that, right? And then these stitches would stitch over that jump, you know, your jump thread here, this jump thread. And sometimes it splits it in half, and it, you know, splits the thread in half. So I didn't want to have that. So that's why I did this. These are 5mm stitches. They should come out really quickly. So there it is. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Let's see what the back looks like. I'll never know. And I think for this template, maybe I'll just print out a piece of paper of the design template, put it underneath, and then draw a magic marker lines, you know, the same lines that are on there, because I don't want to have to recut this all over. But I will fix the file for anybody who's going to buy it. So, okay, I'm going to take this out and we're going to put it on the overhead. Oh, this is so exciting. I am just so, oh God, please don't disappoint me. Okay, so all I have to do is go from underneath, right? And grab it. I'm hoping you can see everything. So I'm grabbing underneath and I want to watch this back here. So, and usually what I do when I am quilting in the hoop, my table will be in front of this. So as I undo these brackets and bring it out halfway and then deal with this, I'm bringing it out and putting this on my table that's in front here. My table's in front. My table's not in front now, but just so you know, so I would slide it out and then, oh look, it's coming right out because it's not a big quilt. Okay. All right. So we'll go here to the, oh look, but it's hooked up here. Good thing I made it long, right? Dummy. So we're going to go to the overhead. And I'll meet you over there. Okay. So here we are. Let me see if I can... Oh, no, that's too much zoomed out. So I'll remove the basting stitches while it's still hooped. It'll just be easier, you know, because it's still tight and everything. So, and they're so easy to remove, right? Now you can use a thread ripper, but you don't want to cut anything. So make sure you're using the blunt side. So that you can see. Remember I was saying when it first starts, the needle has to go down to catch the bobbin thread, and it makes like a single tie. And sometimes it's kind of a pain, see? Like I can't pull that. But thank goodness I have this long tail, right? Now this one should be okay because I'll just cut it here. Oh, that one. Usually the ending ones never make a tight tie, but the beginning ones always seem to, you know. So I'm just going to end up losing this for the beginning. Like I said, this one's easy. See, it just pulls right out. No biggie. And then the whole thread tail is gone. So then I'll feed that to the back because there's a tie on there. So it's not like you can go and pull the back thread and get it out. And I wouldn't want to do that anyway. So I'll just go through there with my snag it needle. You know, usually a lot of times with the snag it needle, I go in first and then I snag it. So I can't really see that well. But, and I should have my mat under there, to be honest. I'll wait on this because I want to have my finger under there. So let's go ahead and, I don't want to scratch my steel plate because I don't have my cutting board under there. So let me think, do I want to keep my cutting board on because of this step for burying? I don't know. I have to think about that. So then I also have one of these awls, you know, and these stitches are so big that once you do cut them, you know, you can use your awl so you're not worried about. Now the bobbin thread is still, okay. Did I get the bobbin thread? Yeah, the bobbin thread is still attached to this knot. Oh, there we go. I got it, and this came out. Okay, so now this will just come out easy, right? You could do that, or you could just do this where you pull it, and a lot of times it's less stress on the fabric. If you pull, then let loosen, and then, you know, a lot of times this is what I do. I pull, stick it in, and go like that, and I grab it as I'm coming up. Pull, go like that, and grab it. Pull, like that, and grab it. It's so quick, right? And there, it's done. So then there's the bobbin thread. It's underneath there. Oh, it's right here. Okay. And then this is that bobbin thread. So once that's done, then you can unhoop and we can see what the back looks like. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm going to be using my snagget needle in a minute. So. Okay. So let's go ahead and I'll just start taking these off, and I'm going to use my left hand. My right thumb doesn't work. And you can go like this if you don't want to use your fingernails. Just slide it up. So these, even though they're not really that strong, you know, they're not as strong as these. Okay. They're nice and thin, you know. And I don't know, I just really like them. I thought about making another one of these for this edge so that you wouldn't have as to put them all down one by one, you know. And then I thought, oh, maybe I'll just make a short one here. Then I'll have these two edges, and then these two will be individual. So I'm just kind of winging it and seeing what I feel like doing as I progress. Because this is all new, you know. So then this one, look, I did the whole thing with the wooden thing, and I said I was going to take it out, you know, and just leave it. Or I was going to put this in, but then remember I was worried, well, what if this flops in? Let me put it in. So it's a 1/2 inch. I already told you. You know, what if the needle bar catches this? And I don't think it would come down that high. So I don't know. I'll let you guys decide on that. But, you know, it's easy to get it off when the wooden stick is in there. Because then it just whoop, comes right off. See? There it is. And oh, I just poked myself. And then it just comes right off. And my hand was in the way on both times. Hope I'm not bleeding on my quilt. You know, I just hold my finger there and it just comes right off. So, okay, let's see what the back looks like. Here we go. Oh, let's take the hoop off. There it is. And I specifically made the back a completely different color just so that I could verify, you know, everything. Okay, there it is from far away. It's not bad, guys. And let's zoom in. Okay, let's focus. It's not bad. I mean, seriously. So, yeah, it's not bad considering all the trial and error that I had. I mean, are these pokies? I don't, what was that? Oh, let's see. You know, one lady did a video once, like on long arming, and I think it was the one who sells those rulers, and she was saying that you really want to see your bobbin when you're long arm quilting. You want to see the bobbin thread just peeking up a little. She said, because then when you let the long arm loose, you know, when you take off the side clamps on the long arm and unroll the quilt, those little bobbin threads that were just peeking up a little, they sink to the bottom. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think I want to go back to 100 millinewtons on this soft batting, but I was at 130, 127. I mean, the front looks beautiful. So I don't know why that's so like fuzzy and everything. Let me see if I bring it up closer. It's not bad. And like I said, those are, that's the fabric. That's the needle pulsing through the fabric. I love it. I love it. So then, like I was saying about the, about feeding through to bury your thread tails. So you would just, I would just go ahead and stick my needle in there. Kind of try and not go in the bigger hole, but for feeding it to the back, it kind of almost doesn't matter. And then I snag it. And then bring it to the back. And I'll do this other one. Oh, get the bobbin thread tails. Make sure I'm in the camera. So this one started here. Let's get it in view. Jeez, I started like pretty crazily right there. I can't see where it starts. Look, it's right in the seam. So I'm going to have to poke it in there. So much for my great ideas, right? It's okay. So I'll push it down to get some slack. Look at that. And then I'll bury it in the back. So then to bury these, you know, they're nice and long. So I'm a lefty, so you have to kind of do this, figure out how to do this as a righty. But I take these two fingers and put them away from me, and I grab the thread like that, so you could see the thread, and then I take my thumb and put it on the thread here. And well, not yet. Wait a minute. God, I do it so fast I can't even think. I don't put my thumb yet. I just take my two fingers and spin them around, and then these two threads go in between these two fingers. There's two threads here. They go in between, and I squish them, and then I just take this and go like that. And there's my loop. I'll do it again there. And then I take this down and I put it like maybe a heavy 1/8 of an inch away from where they came out of. So I just kind of put it like that. Yeah, I should have my mat under this because I'm putting my needle in my new silver steel plate, my black steel plate. So I am going to use my mat, I guess. So I pulled this thread tight against that needle, then you take it out, and then you pull tight. So you see how that's a heavy 1/8? That's how I do them. I don't make my knot real close. But then when you come in like, I can't really see, guys. But I try to come in like, you don't want to go in on a stitch point. I try to go underneath, halfway between, say, this stitch here. And I go kind of underneath it. And then remember, you're just wanting to go, I kind of have to pivot. You just want to be buried in the batting. So then you just go like that, right? I could bring the thread somewhere else, like, but I'll just put it there. Sometimes I put it right by the other threads, but then I get scared I'm gonna cut them. So I leave that there. I put my finger underneath and make sure that I don't feel the needle, and I don't. So I didn't go through the other side. And then I snag it. I can't see. And then I pull it out a little and then push it in. My fingernails all broke. Push it in to get, usually when you push it in you get some slack there, but I didn't. I had to make my own. Okay, because you want slack there, and then, oh, I really got it in the knot. And then I usually snap it while it's all doubled up and everything. There, I heard it snap. I feel like it's stronger. I don't know, it probably isn't. So I heard it snap, and then I'll pull the rest of it out. And there it is. And I strategically make my tie-ons and tie-offs for these nested blocks. I make them in a point somewhere, or somewhere, you know, inconspicuous. I really went in there. I can't see what I'm doing, but so then when I cut that, I just, you know, you take your curved scissors and you pull up, but you don't close the scissors on there. You just keep them and you bring the thread into that fulcrum there. So you come up and just bring the thread into it, and then it's gone. Because you don't want to cut your fabric, right? So then we'll do the same thing to the other one. So then, so I hold these up. I'll take my 2 fingers away from me, spin them around, then take this thread and put it in between, squeeze it with my fingers, and then grab this loop and pull it back over. And I totally screwed up. Hold on. Can't see what I'm doing. Do it again. So you 2 fingers, spin it around, put this through, pinch the thread, this thread, then take these and pull that thread through. Oh, because that one was shorter, that's why. And there's my loop. And I'll just get it a little smaller. And now I'll go like 1/8 of an inch away. It doesn't really matter because these are so close to each other. But, oops, you got to go through the loop, duh. You got to go through this hole. Okay, go through the hole and then go 1/8 of an inch away and then pull this down tight and then remove the needle. That one was really far away. I didn't do that one good, and that's too long. Oh well. And then find a spot underneath one of the stitches and go halfway in. Feel down here. I don't think I feel a needle. So I don't feel a needle underneath, so now we'll snag it. Okay, I'm gonna lift this up, push this in and get some slack. Okay, and then push it in the rest of the way. And then I like to snap it when it's doubled up, like I said, and hold it up. I don't know what happened. Did I snap it? I think it went in. Yeah. I mean, it was such a long, you know, that thing was like a 1/4 inch. So, and then pull this nice and taut. Don't close the scissors. Just put them in there and bring the thread towards the scissors. And there you go. So the needle is away. And so there's my bag. And I can remove these pins now. You could see, let's zoom out. Like you can kind of see right here, you know, that pin is not needed. That's why you don't spray anything. You just do your hooping and then you smooth everything out for your next hooping. And even this one down here, see, we don't need that anymore. I'm going to take all 4 of those out. So we'll turn it over. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so cute. So we'll take the needles or pins out. And then I'll leave those other ones in on the corners, like in that I have here. These are, you know, these yellow, what do they call these pins? I'll leave them in, but to be honest, I should have put them in using my right hand. You know, I should have done it like that so that they don't fall out. You know what I mean? 3 times. Especially while you're embroidering. But who knows, my next hooping, they might be in my way. So I'm going to do that to all of them. And I am going to put the mat back on. It's okay. I have that shelf liner, you know, on the bottom of the mat, so it's not going to slide around. Okay, and so for the next hooping, so here I am at my table here, and I'm just smoothing everything out, and I'll have to just decide which way do I want to go, you know, left or right. I guess I'll just go this way, and as I'm smoothing, you know, let's zoom. I can see that even this pin is not even in the right spot, right? So I'm going to take it out. And so if I'm going to hoop here, then I have to line up my ghost template with the previous stitching. And these are ghosts now, right? Because they're previously stitched. So there's my sticky, there's this sticky, and this is the beauty of these. You don't have to draw lines or anything because you've got your ghost. Here's the ghost that this gets lined up to. Now there's no row up here, but when we get to this row, we'll be using these, right? So the only ghost that we really have here for this is this one. And that's really all you need. So we line that up. Let's hold it where the tape is so I get it perfect. Okay. And I can see my vertical line looks like it's exactly the same distance all the way up and down. Almost exact. That's what I mean about this being geometric, right? I mean, if I didn't have my ghosts, oh God, this would be so hard to line up. So then it's down. So then same old wash, what do they say? Rinse and repeat. That's my ghost template. Now I put down my hoop template. And, you know, I'll just put these here. I kind of didn't like having all this tape. I don't know. I guess I'll leave it on for this one. And then lining up my crosshairs. My stupidly same color crosshairs. Wouldn't that be great if the thin one, if this one were black, real thin black? Oh my God, it would be so easy to line up. So this one would be thin marker, the ultra fine point Sharpie, and this one would be the fine point Sharpie, which I have them both, obviously. And I have them both in black and red, but I screwed up. Okay, so that's down. And then we get our hoop. So we make sure the arrows are pointing up. And what I like to do is I like to bring the hoop in from an area that was already quilted. Because if I bring it in from here, I could possibly bunch up the backing fabric underneath as I'm pushing this way, right? So if I come from something that's already been stitched, this is all stitched down. As I slide my hoop, you know, I'll be fine. So now, was this where I wanted to put the mat down? So then I'll slide the mat in from the left side too. I could just take the whole thing off, but I don't feel like it. And I don't even know where the mat is on here. Let's see. Yeah, it's kind of straight on there. Okay. So the mat is under, which means, you know, my magnets that hold on the outside of the hoop aren't going to be as strong because they have to go through the mat. But, you know, they'll be strong enough. 'Cause obviously, we don't really even need them that much. Okay, so we'll take the hoop now and we'll come in from the left. So I'm just kind of sliding it in. And I'm kind of looking up here and here. So I kind of feel like this needs to, maybe this might have been kind of crooked. And then over here, I can feel these two bumps of my hoop. This one, the gap is bigger, so I'm going to press down and kind of slide it, which is good. I'm glad I'm sliding that way, right? So let's see. Let's move this one up. Because remember, if anything, I'd rather have more gap up here where that presser foot might hit. Although that might be too much. There's a lot of seams here. They always cause, they're little troublemakers. And then over here, let's see, if I press down here, and then I feel like, yeah, I have a huge gap here. So I came too far. So I'm going to really try to push the hoop without distorting my backing. Okay. I think I did okay. So I can feel the edge here. I can kind of feel it there. Let me press. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna grab this and scoot the fabric. See, it's more slippery when the mat's not under there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that with the burying and the needle, the snagget needle. I just don't want it scratching my mat, you know. So I'll have to think about that. So I'll put these two just to hold it. And then I'll put some in the corners. I'll go diagonally. And then, like I said, these I almost didn't even need, right? These long ones. I almost didn't even need them. But maybe I won't make it so tight. Maybe I'll put them, well, the distance doesn't matter. It's, you know, you want to be able to press this down though. So maybe I should press this down and then put them, right? Yeah, that's the ticket. So, okay. I'm learning. And then over here, I'll just press down here and put one up on top of the bracket. There. Because remember what I was saying about the long armor, they say it can't be drum tight because then the two threads can't meet in the middle. So we'll do this first, and maybe I'll remember to take the stick out this time. I don't know. But I'm going to just scoot these down. And then, oh, didn't I hold it? And then I just went in the center. Yeah, that was easier. So this center and this vertical leg kind of line up, you know, with each other. And then you want to press down. Okay. And then, I don't know, should I do these first this time? Let's change it up. We'll do these first. So we'll come here, and this has to be lined up with this vertical leg. Because remember, these are where there's 5. And press down. Okay, see, now these are causing issue. I'm kind of pushing up on them so they don't, because this is already keeping it flat, you know. And this template isn't even the, it's not the cutting board from the Dollar Tree. This is from Hobby Lobby, and it's thick. This is 0.2 millimeters in thickness. This is a 0.5 millimeter in thickness. So, you know, I could use that. I could make my templates out of this because all I'm cutting is a rectangle, even if I have to snap some of it out. This is the one on the Cricut Maker that I did use the deep point blade 3 times, 3 passes, more pressure, and the pressure is set at 350. And it worked. So get these in. So I'm going to press down on these. And then these, remember, I'm going to take these off, though. I don't really need them. Because where is my divot for my... It should be here along this center line. Oh, there it is right there. But as long as you're to the, you know, top and bottom of this center crosshair, you know you're not going to be on the divot, right? So you're good. And then here I could just, again, I can feel the divot here. It's harder to feel the divot over area that you stitched. A divot? Is it a divot? I don't know what it is. It's not a dimple because a dimple goes in, a pimple goes out. I don't know what it is. So these are in. And put these in. Alrighty. So we're hooped. Let's remember to take off the hoop template this time. Take all these off. Just let them snap on. Watch your fingers. Ouch. Famous last words. So we're hooped. Everything is smashed down. Do I want to take this out? I don't really need to be honest. I'm not coming close to it. And a lot of times I noticed since it's square, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because if I twist it so that this flat side is facing this, then it doesn't go in. It doesn't come in. So then I thought about using my round one, you know, but because it's round and it's not real, you know, wide, like this is wider, it kind of flops in. So I'll just stick with this. So anyways, we'll take this off. Oh, look what I did. I let this go down, and it's going to remove my Sharpie. Oh, it didn't. That's good. We'll remove this one first because this kind of gets stuck under here. Oh, okay, so then that makes up my mind now as to if I should make this for this side. And now I decided, no, that's not a good idea because it's so tight here. If I make another one here, it's going to be really tight here. But if I just make one here, then it should be fine. I should still be able to get this out with ease and this out with ease. But I don't know, maybe I won't make it at all and just stick with these individual ones. I just wanted to shorten my time, you know, putting down magnets. So I guess I shouldn't have made this so big. So anyways, well, anybody who has Embird can have the has the vector file, but my ghosts are Oh yeah, they'll have the vector file for the ghost, so you just make everything smaller. So buy Embird if you want this. There's so many designs out there, but you know, they're not nested blocks. I don't know why everybody's not doing this. So anyways, it's hooped. So let's go ahead and fold this up. Now see, now I have more excess on the left. So maybe I should use my clips, right? So I'm going to try to fan fold it like this, like I did before. So I brought it all the way down to the hoop. Okay, and then just fan folded it. Yeah, I have my, oh, I'll just take my thing and bring it to the other side. I'll take my little clasp and I'll flip it around. Oh, that looked good. Okay, so let's put this on here. Oops. Close your eyes if you get dizzy. So I basically just flipped this around to the other side. So it is kind of long. It should probably be like here, so it's the height of the, you know, your brackets here, or your arms. But the fact that it was long reminded me that it was still attached. So I don't know, I'll have to think about that. So let's go ahead and we'll hoop this one and see how it looks with two designs. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my table in front of the machine and I have it kind of butted up against the machine there. Oops, see, that's why I had that shelf liner cushion there. I took it off because I was working with those aftermarket magnetic hoops. And now I kind of want to put it back on. But it got all glue, sticky glue all around it. So I'll just try to be careful. So anyways, here it is here. Here's my bracket. And I'm going to, you know, I have it fan folded. And I'm going to slide it up. You know, this is the hoop here. So we're going to get my brackets. We're going to slide it up. And I got it up really close. And then, how did I do it before? Maybe I took the fan fold, and so I didn't have it up as far. So I kind of keep it far away, I guess, and then take my fan fold in. Oh, I can just pull it up. Dummy. Okay, so now I've grabbed my brackets and kind of get it started. Okay, so it's just halfway. Famous last words, right? Okay, so we'll kind of grab our fan fold, and I can kind of, I just want to make sure that it's up over, and then I'll push this in. Okay. And then maybe I'll take the fan fold back. Okay. But remember, we have to pull the table away to make our little gulley. So we're going to pull it away and make sure that's not 4 fingers yet. So pull it more. So I would first make the divot. You have to have a canal, right? So you go 4 inches away, but then you push your quilt and make a canal, and then you put your weight. Okay, so that's what I would do. But I'm gonna move my table away so that you guys can be in front of the camera or in front of the quilt. So, and I wonder if I hit the camera or anything, or the laser. I don't think I did, but let's go ahead and turn it on. It's probably fine. I mean, I wish our needle would just go down without having to do the hand wheel thingy, right? That's a pain. So let me verify that my needle is in the same spot as my hand wheel. And, oh, here's my shelf liner. So I'm dialing the hand wheel 10 minutes. And yeah, I guess it is. So I must not have hit the laser. Okay. So I'm gonna, let's see. Well, right now I'll just do, it's okay, because when I go and move these arrows to get to center, let's try to get that glare out of there. When I move these buttons to get to center, that's when I'll get the warning about the hand wheel, you know, about this and the fact that I moved the hand wheel. So I'm going to move to center by, and I don't know if you can see it, but I have to go up and to the right. So I'll get my warning. I'll hit OK. And that, oh, I just hit the laser. Well, I didn't move it because it still looks like it's in the same spot. So I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go up. It's so hard with the camera in your way and everything. And to the right. Oh, I think I went too far. Okay. Let's see. I could go to the right some more. I think it's good. So I'm centered. Now, what do we do, guys? We check for rotation. And how do we check for rotation? We follow our crosshair. So we use our F button, and I'm going to just hold it down. Okay, I am definitely to the right. I think I can do a rotation. I'm definitely to the right. And remember, it's not going to come all the way down because I have to redo my ghost templates to be as small as the design. Not as small, but... So I'm definitely to the right of the crosshair. I can see it. So I'm going to be able to rotate 1 degree. So you already know, you know, if you're to the right or left of the crosshair when you're down here, you know you're going to be to the left of the crosshair when you get up to the top, right? So I'll just put the crosshair there, or the spinner there. So, and I'll keep hitting F. So I'm just going to hold it down. Oops, I lost my spinner. But this is what we want to keep hitting the laser. Okay, this is getting in my way. So, okay. Okay, that's as far as and now it's jumping to center, so I'm going to reverse. Okay. Wasn't this supposed to be to the left of the crosshair up here? doesn't look like it is unless I hit it. Let me jump to center. Yeah, I'm not in center anymore. I don't know if I hit the laser or what, but I'm gonna move it. I don't know, I might be messing up. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I think I screwed up. I'm hitting the reverse. See how the crosshair's moving to the right? So if it's to the right down there, it should be to the left when we get to the top. So this is what it should be when we get to the top. I'm just going to hold it here. Okay, it jumped because okay. I don't know if I can rotate. I don't know. I'm going to try to rotate counterclockwise. Because wait, what was it? Was it to the right? Oh, I don't remember now. Was it like this or like this? Oh my God, I'm so dumb. I have to reverse. Yeah, it was to the right down here, duh. Oh, I reversed all the way home. So it was to the right at the bottom. So I'm going forward again. So it's to the right at the bottom. So it should have been to the left. I'm reversing. It should be to the left up here, and it kind of isn't. But we're going to try it. I'm going to try a clockwise rotation. So now we're going clockwise, right? So now we're going to see it go from 0 degrees to 1 degree on this one. So we're going to go into zoom in, menu, edit, and we're going to rotate, but this time clockwise. So now if we're going clockwise, okay, 1 degree, okay, so we're at 0 degrees now. When I go clockwise, it's going to say 1, okay. We probably didn't need 1. Probably is just a half again, but we're going to see. So when I hit OK, it's going to go to what it thinks is the center. Okay. Kind of messed up this one because I hit the laser. I think everything is all screwed up. But remember, this goes to the hoop center, not the center of our design template. So when I go to follow, see how it got in line? Now remember, we rotated clockwise. No, wait. Yeah. It was like this, and we rotated clockwise. So let's see. Okay, so down there, it looks like it's straight on. But when we got to the top, let's see what that looks like. And my laser's not even circular anymore. Okay, so since we rotated clockwise, up at the top, it looks like it's off, doesn't it? It looks like it's to the right. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, a 1 degree was too much. We only needed a half a degree. So I have to decide if I want to stick with this and let it be on at the bottom correctly, but off at the top, or just go back, you know. I don't know. I guess I'll leave it at this because it doesn't matter. We're not, you know, that little bit isn't going to make a difference with our spacing and all that stuff. So I'm just going to go with it. And what's nice about nested blocks is, you know, we don't have to match end to end or anything, so we can make these kind of decisions. But I mean, if we were doing an end-to-end design, we would go to stitch number 1. We'd hit fast forward to stitch number 1 of the design. Say it was connecting like here or something. We'd go use our F button, go to stitch number 1, and we'd move the carriage. But we wouldn't do that until we've done our checked for rotation. You know, we still do center and rotation, but then our movement that we did with our center would kind of get changed a little bit, but our rotation would still be rotated. We would just be moving it to match up end to end, but we don't have to worry about that. So we're going to go with this. So I'm going to leave it up there, and I'm going to remove this. It just makes it easier. So I'm going to hold my finger. Let's try and zoom out. And then I only have one more up here. Try to stay out of the camera, but I'll hold my finger down. Yeah, I don't know how to do this. Okay, I'll do it this way. You can see. So I got my finger down there. Okay. Alrighty then. So we're gonna come up here and go to the next thread color. Oh, you know what? I didn't reopen the design. So that's interesting. I left the same design on the screen and I did all that. I mean, I still jogged to center, so I changed my center. I mean, it jogged to center and it went back to center, so everything is okay. So we're just going to go with it. And, oh, I didn't check if it was going to hit up there, but I think we're fine. It should be good. So I'm going to turn off the laser. And I'm going to pull up my bobbin thread. So I'm going to push the tension release. And I'm going to grab my thread here so I don't bend the needle. That should be good. Okay. And I'm going to hit start once and then 2 times fast to pull up my bobbin. I should have checked how my bobbin is. Now I'm going to hold it loosely and hit start once and then once again. Remember, there's no tie on or anything, but now it makes a tie. Tried to zoom in. Right, let's go. Let's see. It's not focusing. Okay, there we go. It seems like it's having an issue making a turn here and here. It didn't do that before, so I don't know what the problem is. It makes you wonder if it's too tight. Yeah, those curves, it's having a problem. I don't know. Yeah, I don't like that. I need a new machine. I really do. And you know, I'm using a 14 needle because in long arming, we use an 18 needle. You're going through seams and everything. Oh, it didn't make the jump. Oh, no. It broke a thread when it made the tie. Oh. I don't think it tied. That's a bummer. It didn't do that before. Well, we'll have to see. It looks like it made a tie. But there's no threads unless there's a bobbin thread there. Oh, that's such a bummer. So it's like it broke it. Oh, all right. Well, let's see. We'll see you at the overhead. When it's stitched like that, when it's struggled here and here, I wonder if it's because I had this left edge clipped like that. You know, because the carriage was pulled over here and maybe this was being like pulled. I don't know. I'm not going to do that on the next one. Sometimes you can train it to go, but yeah, that doesn't look good. So, yeah, I don't know. All right, well, let's pull these out. Let's see about that. Oh, that one came out that time. Let's zoom in. I hope there's a tail at the on the other side. I just hope there is, because then I could bury at least the bobbin thread. Or maybe they're both back there. Let's see. So let's take these off. Okay. Well, there it is so far. Okay, let's take the hoop out and let's see what's in the back. So it doesn't look like we have much of a... I don't know what we have here. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's the cut thread from the top. So I'm going to come and I'm going to make a knot with this. I'm making it a little different. Maybe I'll try to like make two of them in the same spot. Like there's that one there. You can barely see it. And then, because I can't get my 2 fingers and do the 2 finger thing, so I'll just do 1 finger and do it the old fashioned way. And then if I try to bring this down and try and get it there, maybe move my needle up and now bring it right where that dot is. I think I got 2 of them. Oops. I don't know what I did. Oh, what did I do? I don't know, to be honest. I better take that out. Because obviously I didn't do what I wanted to do. Okay. So that's my 1/8 of an inch. Yeah, what did I do? I'm gonna kind of take it like this, and I don't even see the knot anymore. Oh, it's right there. I'm gonna bring it down. I don't know. They're doubled right next to each other. Oh well. So I'm gonna go right in this mess. Somehow. Make sure I didn't go through. So I'm on my mat this time. Okay. I have to turn this a little. That's a bummer. Get some slack. Did they snap in? Oh, there they snapped. I think we're good. I think we're good. Because, I mean, it did a tie, you know, and I have 6 stitches for a tie. And I got the bobbin thread, and the top thread is back there somewhere. So I think we're good. Oh, I forgot to bring the top thread to the back. Okay, so there it is. There's the hole. So I'm kind of going through the same hole, but I felt some resistance, which was good. Oh, see, I don't like that though. It's too far away. I did try to slant it as I went in, and that wasn't right. Plus, I can't see. So I'll slant it the other way. That's better. Do I have it snagged? Oh, yeah, I did. Okay, snag it again. Get some slack, and I'll pull it through. This is a loop. I know it doesn't look like a loop, but okay. So 2 fingers away. Twist it, bring this in, and then take these and bring it out. Go about 1/8 of an inch away. Now I'm on the mat, so pull it, pull that out, and now I want to go in underneath one of these. I'm going to go next to it, even though it might be a stitch hole. I don't think it is. So now I'll snag it. Pull it back a little, and then there, it snapped right in, because yeah, the reason it snapped in so easy, because I think I did go in a stitch hole. Sometimes when that happens, I try to feed this one back through and do it again, but I'm gonna let it go because I can't see. That's my excuse. So just pull the thread into there, and there you go. So we got 2 of them, and this is the back. That's a pretty big tie off there. These you can't even see them. But I screwed up because I broke the thread on that one. So there you go. We're getting there. Let's zoom out. Oh, it's gonna be so pretty. So let's turn it around the way that it was. And so, I mean, I could do on the other side of this center one, you know, but I want to see how to handle this. I want to see where my hoop falls. So I want to get my template, my ghost template. And so I can see, let me line up the ghost template. This kind of design is better on a whole cloth quilt, you know, because it's so geometric, and this is geometric. It wasn't the best choice, but I just really liked it. So over here on the other end, I can see that I'm going to have uneven stitching, right? So as the hoop is placed over this, okay, so the magnets are going to be here. So this fabric here is just, that is the that's just one layer right here, you know, because this is going to be on top of the hoop, right? So that's just one layer of fabric. So that's when that one girl from JE Embroidery, and she was using stabilizer. Originally, this beige was going to be my extra fabric, and I was just going to use it, you know. But then after I put it on, I liked how it looked. So I originally basted this long edge here, because I just basted this on. And I used to use a chain stitch on one of a Singer, antique Singer, you know, the Singer Touch and Swear. I used to use that chain stitch that you could just rip it right out, but I didn't feel like getting that machine out. So I basted it, but then I liked how this looked, this beige. So then I went over my basting stitches with 2mm stitches. So now I still have to deal with this with, you know, no layers. So make a long story short, I'm just gonna put some cutaway on here, and I don't know, maybe I'll just tape it on. I don't know, because it's not going to be much to stitch here, and I think it'll be fine. I also have this tearaway. This is Stitch and Tear, you know. I mean, I could just use that instead. And I think what I'll do is I'll just like tape it to the batting, and then I wonder if I should let it stitch. I have to think. And then just tear this away, because then this will just get cut off. You know, I'd be wasting this red fabric. I don't feel like making a 3/4 design. I could also stop the machine when it stitches to stay here and then just fast forward, you know, because it's gonna, you know, come down here and then here and here. So I could fast forward through all of this, and then I could completely eliminate this being stitched. You know, and then fast forward through these, and then that'll be it. So then it's gonna go like right about, well, I'll know where it goes. I have this here, dummy. Okay, so then I'm gonna have to lift that up, and then I guess put it here. It has to be hooped, so I'll just do that. That's fine. And so I guess I'll just use some painter's tape. I don't know. Let's see if this is going to stitch. I don't want it to stitch through painter's tape though. Oh, I barely made it. This is the ghost, so I can tape this whole long edge. I don't need this thick of tape, but... Oh, this is taped down. Duh. Oh, now that's going to be on the painter's tape. Oh, well. Oh, look, I got it in there. So I'll just do something like that. I don't know if this is going to work, but it's not like really stretched tight in the hoop. It's a flat type of hooping, right? So you think it would be okay. Now, do I want to, which way do I want to bring the hoop in? I don't know. So let's take this one off, because we know we put this one in the wrong spot. So let's line up our crosshairs. Now, should I slide my hoop in from this side because it's easier? You know, I don't know. I mean, I don't think I'll pucker the backing. I guess I can hold on to the batting as I slide it in. I mean, not batting, backing. So let's see though, my backing is barely going to get hooped. Now remember, it doesn't have to be hooped here, okay? It doesn't have to be hooped here. Let me see. The magnets are inside, so that's the part that has to be hooped. So we might be okay. I'm going to just help it a little bit. I'll push it here. It does have to go in more, so let's... I guess it has to go in more. Oh, I'm going the wrong way, duh. Okay. Okay. So that's good. You just put your hand down and pull the hoop and it locks right in down here. So that was easy enough. That's weird over there, and I'm barely on the magnetic mat. I probably just need the corners, to be honest. You know, because I've already pressed this down. I don't even need the long ones. I guess I could just put one down. That's really all I need. I don't even need that. Oh, that one's not on the mat, so there's the magnetic mat. So I gave it kind of, let's see if I press down and go like that. So we'll take this and center it and snap it in place. That's so easy. That's why I have to make more of those. But like I said, everything here is so large. Now, if I would have cut this right outside the red box, it would have been fine. I could make another one of these here. And I could do that. I could cut it now if I wanted, but then these are folded and everything. I have a lot of work to do on this. Maybe I should just make a whole nother one, but I don't know. I guess I'll do this side first like I did before. I'll move that magnet. Line that up with this crosshair. Oh, now here is going to be tricky. Sometimes you can put a clip around that part that kind of wants to curve. You know, even though the magnet is there, you still can. So I'll take that away. And that center line is here. Now here, let's see how well I can do. So you're just on stabilizer. It should be fine. Oh, I just cut into it. Okay. We're done with the hoop template, so let's remember to take it off. And this is ready to go to the machine. So we'll meet you at the machine. So I forgot to fan fold this, so now the majority of my quilt is on the left side. So I don't think I'm going to clip it this time. I felt like that kind of might have messed me up. So I'm going to fan fold it. Okay. But then this excess over here, I think I'm going to kind of, I don't know. I'll decide once I get it in. So let's see if I can get a good angle of this. So then, what did I do before? I think I put it so that it was stayed on the table. And then I put this, I fed this to the back. I'm going to bring this excess up, get my hand under there, make sure these magnets are off. Make sure both brackets are in. Oops, I didn't check that this was not being trapped. Oops, I touched something. Okay, so my fan fold is kind of like there, and I think sometimes I would clip this, just clip it, and I think what I did a lot was when I took this corner and put it on the table, that's what helped me a lot. And I'm going to move the table away though first and make my gully. I always forget that. So I'm going to make my gully, and I'm going to bring this around, and then, you know, that would be my gully. I'm going to leave the gully there, weight on this, because I want to see, remember it kind of messed up those curves. I want to see if this works better. I kind of have it, I have the weight off of it, but it's in a little bit different manner. So I'm going to go open. It only takes a few seconds to bring it up, but then I have to go to this and set that at 1. I don't need to do the red on the first one, or the stop, I should say. So this is where it's showing, and I'm gonna bring it to center, okay, with arrow buttons. Oops. I'm going to go up. Go to the right again. That's about right. So now I'm going to follow. I'm going to hit the F button. See, it's right on down there, but let's see up at the top. Okay, it is starting to veer. I'm taking this off because I feel like it's messing with my head. I'm just going to kind of put it on the table with the weight. So I'm going to hit the F button. Oh, see, now it's right on. Well, it's to the right. No, it's pretty much centered. It is a little bit to the right, but I think if I rotate it, it's going to be too far off down there. So it's slightly to the right. So it's like this. And I'd have to rotate counterclockwise 1 degree, but honestly it's gonna be too much. But I'll try. Oh, I have this light. I completely forgot. Sorry, this whole video I've had the wrong light. Okay. Counterclockwise 1 degree. It should say 359. I don't know if you can see that. 359, and hit OK. And then we follow again. Yeah, see, I went counterclockwise. So now my right bottom leg is too far to the right. Not my right, but the bottom of the crosshair. This dot is too far right because we went counterclockwise. So now this bottom leg is, but I wonder if it was because I didn't have it pressed down. Let me see. Oh no. I mean, it's not bad. Rewind. See, now it's slightly to the left. And this one was slightly to the right. And then if we rotate it, it's too much. That's why it's just, I needed a 1/2 degree. So again, I have to just decide, do I want to keep it? I'm going to leave the rotation and we're just going to go for it. So with it up there, I'm going to take this off. So down here, oh, it's on the tape. I have the tape on this. Okay. And then over there, oh, this has lost its stickiness. And we'll go ahead and go to the next thread color. So I'm going to hit the next thread color up here. Okay, and so I didn't have enough give here, so this is not heavy. I'm going to let that droop, but I'm going to kind of bring this up maybe and move my table over. Maybe that's what I need to do, right? And just kind of do that so I have the weight, you know, here. So maybe we can see better. So it's going to start there and just make its basting stitch over. So we can let that part go. But I'm still going to pull up the needle. Oh yeah, I broke my, remember I broke my thread. I almost want to leave the laser on for this one so I can see if I want to stop it or not. Okay, so I threaded the needle. It took me forever. Okay. So we'll do a needle down, needle up. So I'll hit start once and 2 times. And then once and once again. Oh, now I have it. Okay. I don't have any of this down or taped or anything. I didn't even think of that because the presser foot gets stuck on that. I hate to put tape because I don't want to gum up my needle. I have my finger here ready to stop it. I think I should put tape where it's not gonna stitch. I didn't think of that. Let me get my chopstick. Oh, this is getting in the way. Oh, there you go. But now, this is where I was gonna fast forward. So let me get my stick. And I gotta move this or something. And I'm gonna put my tension lever off. So I'm gonna move it forward. I'm gonna hit the F button over here. And I'm gonna just fast forward. So this should, well, even with the tension lever off, it's tight. Okay, now it's coming back up. So when it gets to about right here, I think I'll pull the thread back. I know you're not supposed to do that, but I'm pulling it back. And then, if I try to hit start, it's gonna give me a warning here about tension lever. Watch, I'll hit start. See? So that's good. So I pulled the thread back, and now I'll hit start and start again. Oh, I forgot about that. Good thing it didn't catch, right? I messed up. Okay, so what is this making? Oh, it's going to make the swirl. So I'm going to pull the tension back, and I'm hitting the F button. I think it's gonna make, I forgot, I have to look at the design. Okay, so, yeah, I don't even know what it's doing. It's doing that. Oh, it's gonna go all the way up now, I think. I don't know. I better just stitch it and not worry, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna hit start, pull my tension. Oh, that was lucky. I had my finger in there. I just stitched over lint. Okay, let's see if I can fast forward this. I wish I could pull it easier. Same thing, I forgot, and then I get my fingers in there. Oh, we're done. That wasn't bad. It's such an easy design. design. And see, it's stitched better here. I didn't have that issue with it struggling. I think it was the way I had it clipped. Now hopefully it won't break it. Okay, it didn't. Okay. Well, there you go. Alright. So I'm going to put my table in front and pull everything up and pull this out. And there you go. Oops. It's not on the overhead, obviously. So we've got our jump and everything. So it's not bad. We'll go to the overhead. Okay, so we've got 3 of them. And let's go ahead and see how these come out. Okay, they're coming out better now. Famous last words. See how fast I can do this without talking too much. No talking and explaining, right? And then we'll remove this one. Okay. And we'll take our snag it and take it to the back. So I'm going right in the same needle hole for this part to feed it to the back. But when I bury it, I'm not going in that same hole. So now that I did that, I'll take everything off. Oh, I wasn't zoomed out, but you're doing right. And then I'll take this one off. Sorry about that. I'm trying to do this faster. Okay. And now we'll try and bury these as quickly as we can. See, because I think, isn't this the tie on? I have to think about that. Or is this the tie off? Oh, you could tell because the tie off is where this juts in. Because this side doesn't have that. So the tie off is really makes a big knot. I wonder why that is. Because the tie on doesn't. You can see how clean it is. But this is thicker. I might have to look at it in the file and change it. So we'll make our tie, our knot. I'm going to just go right into that mess. I probably shouldn't. I should try to go under it still. I feel like I went through, but I didn't. I didn't do it right. Oh, it's snagged in. I heard it. Okay. I wonder if it's because it's coming from on top. But yeah, that makes a big knot. This other one on the other side isn't as big, but oh, I can't see what I just did. Is that right? I better redo it. Well, I don't know. I didn't even put my needle in. It's good. Okay. Zoom in on this one. So where do I want to go under? I'll go under that one. Sometimes it's easier to just look. I think they're both in. So pull it out of here and then push it in, get some slack. There, I heard it snap. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at that and see why that is so big. It could just be like just the way the tie was made, I think. I don't know. But it's awfully big, a lot bigger than the other ones. So then these here, they're just gonna get, I feel like I want to cut them though, because I feel like they might get caught on something. So then I could probably leave this, there's the 3 of them in the back. See, I think when it's all, when you get the next row in and everything, I think that that spacing is probably good. I'm not for sure about that, but I know these are black, but does it go that way? Oh, I had it the wrong way, duh. Okay. So, I don't know, I feel like, when they're all spread out like that, it kind of, I like that gap there. I think if it were closer, you don't have as much fudge room, but so that's it closer. I can't do it on this one because this gap is already there, but and if you have Embird, you can make your own, ghost templates. These are just slicing. You're just taking your guide and slicing a big auto repeat. And your guide will slice whatever you have selected, and then you just delete those. It's so easy. So, yeah. I mean, this one would be closer. I don't know. Because I was thinking on a big quilt, you know, I didn't want it like bomb proof, and I figured this gap would be the same as this gap and this gap, you know. So I kind of wanted some consistency. So, and it's interesting, my kids do not like tight quilts. They like them nice and loose and fluffy and everything. So I tried to keep that in mind, but then still put in some intricacies, you know, in there, in this, just to give it some dimension. So let's go see the front with 3 of them. I feel like I want to do another row up there. So there it is with 3 of them. Might have to zoom out. That looks so good. Oh my gosh. Don't look at the blue. That looks so good. Wow. Well, I would definitely, you know, I would have to do this over here. So then I'll do this side, and then I'd go ahead and work down or work up. Probably in this case, it'd be better to work up, because then this up here, I'll have less up at the top. So I'll work in an upward fashion, and then when all of this gets done, I'll turn the quilt. And if your designs were, you know, were directional, like where they weren't like this, these are the same on both sides. But if your designs weren't like this, then you would turn your design. That's why I have the word top written here. And you'd also flip your design in your embroidery machine. So then this would be the top, and then your ghost, then you'd line it up like that. This would be your ghost here, and you'd stitch it, and you know, you'd have everything flipped. But like in my case, it doesn't even matter, but just in case, you know, you'd probably still want to do it. So you'd start in the center and stitch right and left, or however you want to do it, and then just do your rows like that. So it's kind of nice, because when you've got a big quilt and you're on your second row, you've got a ghost here, and then you'll have a ghost on the side, so you'll have 2 ghosts to match up. You know, say I'm like here, you know, then I'd have this ghost that was already stitched, and I'd have this one that was already stitched, so these 2 would be matched up. And then it just makes it so easy. And look, I'm still on the line. Wow. That's amazing. That's why these are so nice, because you don't have to think. I made enough mistakes with having to think. So I'll go ahead and I'll finish this row, and I'll try and come back and show at least lining up, you know, the second row, and then like these two more on the other row, so that you could see how the ghosts react with each other. I could probably just like tear this away now and reuse it, right? I mean, it barely got stitched. And that'll just get cut off. There's my ghosts. I just love lining up these ghosts. I don't know why. It's like I get a kick out of it. Now that looks crooked there. Maybe because I'm starting to go crooked. If you are starting to go crooked, that's what's good about nested blocks. Well, even if you're end to end, because you can use your, where you connect, you can use that as a pivot point and pivot, okay? And that's what's good about having this space here. But if I'm worried about that, I can pivot it a little bit, and see, just that little bit brought it in. I'm off just a hair. I can scoot up a little bit. And it's also forgiving. So now I'm good with that. It's not bad. It's off a little bit there, but I'm lined up here. And that's why I like to have the line here, the red line here, and it's cut like 1/8 of an inch away from that red line. So you don't have to worry about Sharpie getting on your fabric, you know, if something should happen. So then, there you go. And then this was where I took this one off, put it there. So there's a big seam there. So then this would have to go, it could go right on there because this is on the design template now. Now I'm not putting any of that red tape. I'm just using painter's tape on both. So I know those two on the left are correct, and this one's already down. So I'll just kind of go with it. But wait, I put it on top. Duh. I don't have anything holding this, dumbass. Boy, I'm swearing now. So this has to go here if I'm going to use it in that manner. And then I'd need another one for here if I'm going to use that. But maybe I won't. Yeah, this should be black. Definitely crooked. Well, maybe I'll hoop crooked for once. So then there's nothing on this side. I have a little piece of something here. There you go. I'll just go in from the left since it's already quilted. And of course I went too far. And I'm going to press this. That was fast. Let me push this a little bit. There you go. You get faster as you go. I'm putting these farther away, but see, I can't push down on this, so there. Okay. Make that in the center. Whoops, I just pulled I felt like I pulled this up, but I'm still good over here. I should hold this as I just take the center one. So I should hold the center, hold the template, and just drag this up. Snap that in and then go across. That worked a lot better. Press down. Okay, I'm going to take this off and put that on. See, this template is shorter. It's cut shorter. Take these off. So there's my center. So this goes above it and below it. I'll just put them all on. It's fine. Okay, and I'm going to bring up my design again. And I'm going to set the colors. Nothing moved because it was already at the hoop center, what it thinks was the hoop center. Okay. So my design is hooped, or yeah, I guess. So take off the hoop template, hold the ghost template down. And we'll take these off. And we'll go to the machine. Oh, the laser is gone. Okay, so I have to replace it. So, and these are the cheapo ones that you get 3 of them. And I did tighten them with the Allen wrench. So then this one will get charged. And then the new one will go in, kind of in the same direction, with this kind of facing the same way. Let's turn it on. You kind of can twist it for it to be circular. I think that last one was one of the junky ones. Because, you know, they always give you like one good one and one bad one when you buy stuff like that. I hate that. So I'll go ahead and tighten them. And so, but it doesn't look like, you know, that's in line with my needle. So, because this is a new laser. So, dial this down. Oh yeah, it's way off. So when I bring the laser towards the machine, let's see, which way do I have to go? Oh no. The laser, I have to move it down. So that means I got to go towards the machine. I don't have to hold anything. The nut won't unloosen. So let's see. That's pretty close. So now we're going to move to center. Needle bar's out of position. Oops, I held it down. I have to move this off to the side a little. Move this a little. That's good enough. And then we'll follow. So let's see. I'm holding it down. Okay, so I see it's to the left of the crosshair down there. So that means it's like this. So we're probably going to have to rotate it counterclockwise. Remember that, counterclockwise. Oh, this is always happens. Counterclockwise. And it finally is, maybe this is a better stencil. This is my newer stencil because it's finally agreeing. So it's to the right of the crosshair up here, and down here it was to the left of the crosshair. So it was like this. It was like that. So it was to the left of this vertical line. Down here it was to the left. Up there it's to the right. So we're going to rotate counterclockwise 1 degree. So we'll go to menu, edit, rotate 1 degree counterclockwise, and it'll say 359, and hit OK. And it goes back to what it thinks is the hoop center, so it's still off, and I know you can't see that, but I'm going to follow again just to check. And I could see down here, reverse, it's right on the crosshair now. I know it just looks white to you, but maybe, I don't know, maybe. And I'm right on this time. So maybe I have to use this template. I don't know. It seems like it's making more sense to me. So I know I'm not going to touch anything, but I'm really far away down here, actually. And I'm really close up here. Maybe I better check it. Let me see. Let me go back up. Like, I know I'm at the edge of my design up there. Oh, is that close? I'm going to take this wooden thing out because I obviously hooped too high up. The design is up too high, so I took out the wooden thing. It's still going to be close to this, but it's not going to hit the magnets. So we're done. So we can take this out. So okay. And we're going to just go to, let's see, no, not that. We're going to go to the next object in the design, which is the design. And remember, I'm just kind of holding this up here somehow. So, you know, this excess, I'm not even putting a weight on it. I'm hoping it's not too close to the machine, you know, the corner of my table and the machine. I think I'm good. So we're gonna grab this little thread here. I'm gonna pull back the tension lever and I'm gonna pull down some thread. Pull it back. I'm going to pull up my bobbin thread. And then I'll hit start and start. Now it'll jump and make a tie. I'm going to turn off the laser. Ooh, it made a little indent when it went over that seam there. Oh well. Oh, look at how that point came right to the seam. I didn't want that, but I guess it's not bad. Those are Embird swirls, spirals they call them. So now it's going to get close to the magnet. Ooh, is that close? bad boy out. So I am going to continue with this. So I'm gonna continue with it, but not for the rest of tonight here, because it's really getting past my bedtime. All right, guys. Well, you probably want to see this. Let me at least show it to you. I could bury those even without the hoop on. Oh, and I don't have the wooden thing on because I got scared. Can put it back in. All right. So I have 4 of them done. Yeah, I should bring that to the back. Well, now I want to bring it to the back so I don't have to look at it. Let's see. Oh, it's going to be so pretty with all of these on here. Oh, it's just lovely. It's a little off. You could see this curly Q comes up and this one doesn't come up as much. So it looks like I'm slanting upward. But that's why I knew this wasn't the right design for something so geometric. It's better on a whole cloth quilt. Well, although even on a whole cloth quilt, you know, it might look crooked, but like, see how I'm slanting upward here? And those are... So I could keep that in mind and maybe try and correct it with this one and try to bring it down a little. So, and that's the other thing about the nested blocks. How are you going to bring something down if you have to connect it end to end? If this were end to end. With the nested blocks you can. But if you go end to end, you might not have this mistake, you know, maybe. Because you're rotating it, but then you're moving it again to connect to the other end. So you may not have this issue. So, but if these were like my other nested blocks, you wouldn't even notice, you know, because they're all funny shaped. So it looks great, and it's got that really good dream batting. It feels so nice to touch. Don't you just love to touch it? I hate when people do videos in their quilting and then they got their hands like all over it and you can't even see it. But I know it's so therapeutic. Looks like I didn't iron this well. Okay, I am getting tired. All right, guys. Well, as usual, we'll see you next time. All right, guys. Bye.